Welcome back everyone. I hope you are very well. So I think part 1 video is very much interesting. You have enjoyed and you have understood that why geography is a discipline. We have understood a lot of things. So today is the follow-up chapter of the same, that geography as a discipline, and today we will discuss the part 2. Okay, the remaining portion. So let's start this unit with the beautiful lines between nature and man, that you created the soil, I created the cap. You created night, I created the lamp. You created wilderness, hilly terrains and deserts. I created flowers, beds and gardens. So that shows the interrelationship, the beautiful relationship between nature and man. And in our life, in our daily life, we used to, this dialogue used to takes place every day. Okay, so geography as a discipline part 2 lecture we will start today. And before moving to the part 2, that the remaining portion, let's recapitulate what we have studied before. Let's have a look. Okay, from this PDF we will just list out that what we have studied, and this PDF I will share with you later on. You can have a look from there. So what are the things that we have done before? So let's have a look. First is what is geography? Okay, I hope you remember the earth consists of the physical and cultural features. We all know the relationship between the physical and the cultural feature is known as the geography. Particularly geography is the description of the earth. We have divided the word geography. Geo means earth and graphos means description. Next we have studied that who is known as the father of geography. Father of geography is Eratosthenes. Okay, father of geography is Eratosthenes. So here you can see the line Eratosthenes, a Greek philosopher, a Greek scholar. In this section you can see Eratosthenes, a Greek scholar who initiated and who coined the term geography. So some scholars define geography as the description of the earth as the adobe of human beings. So many scholars used to say that geography is the adobe of human beings. After that we have discussed that why geography differ from other subjects. First of all, what I have told you on that part 1 lecture, that each and every discipline is different because they follow a different methodology. So what is the methodology? Geography used to collect data from social science, that is history, geography, economics, all the sociology. We used to get the data, as well as from the natural science, that is biology, after that geology, after that soil science we having. Okay, so after getting the data, after just incorporating all the data and the information, we used to interpret. That is the methodology of geography. We have understood. Next we have seen that what do you mean by areal differentiation, that all areas are unique, all regions are unique, they all are different. It may be on physical perspective, it may be on cultural perspective. This concept is known as areal differentiation. After that, what do geographers study? We have discussed geography studies the various variations and the association or the connectedness. In simple language, variation means what? That every physical and cultural factor are variable in nature. For example, what kind of building that I'm making in India, it may be differ in America. Okay, it may be differ in America. Same as the connectedness, that how I'm connecting these features, these man-made features and the environmental features. Okay, so this kind of interrelation, or to understand the effectiveness, as I have told you earlier also, that earth is unstable, it is very much dynamic, hence we have to see the relationship and the interconnectedness. We have discussed this thing, what geographers study and why geography is called an integrated discipline. Two reasons are there. First of all, geographers used to include spatial and temporal synthesis. Spatial means what? Space. Here you can see spatial. Okay, spatial and temporal synthesis. So spatial means what? Space, living space, and temporal means what? Time. As time changes, our living space also change. So this is a very much holistic concept. The approach is very much holistic. Okay, after studying geography, the concept of global acceptance, or the concept of global village, that a world is one and we are the citizen of this world. So we have to we can interpret like this. Okay, so these things we have studied in the first chapter, in the first unit of this chapter. Today we will discuss the second unit of this chapter, that is the relationship with other subjects. This diagram you can have a look, that how geography is related to other subject. So in this diagram, I have tried to make some important, yes, I think it is visible now. Okay, so what I've told you, that geography is a collection of uh, social science as well as natural science. So when we will study botany, when we will study zoology, botany means plant life, zoology means animal life. This concept in geography is known as biogeography. After that, when we will study soil, it becomes pedology or soil geography. Similarly, when we study the climate, the upper air circulation, the cyclone, the rainfall, all these things, it consists of climatology or meteorology. After that, we're moving to the next part, that is interior of the earth. You have a chapter you have studied about interior of the earth, that what is going on inside the earth, what is magma, how the molten materials coming out, why it is coming out. This concept is known as geology. Okay, next, the economic scenario. Okay, the economics, because we are living in a society, we all know, and to run a society, a well defined economy we need. Okay, a circular flow of everything is very much important. So how to study the economy and what its importance in the society, these things we will study in economic geography. Next, Russia and Ukraine, you're studying, you know the situation, the geopolitics, the international relation, we will consider in the political geography. The history, that what was the place at that time. Maybe I'm considering Harappa Mohenjo-daro civilization. After analyzing the landform, I have received a lot of data. So many a times I have to refer the historical data also. So this is known as historical geography. As we are living in a society, we need to understand the rules and the principles of society. That is known as social geography. And finally, the environment, the dynamicity, what is going on in the environment, the mechanism, we will study in environmental geography. So these are the important branches of geography that evolved later on as a specialization. So after, for example, if you're doing bachelor's geography, so in bachelor's geography, you will get all these specialized branches. Okay, you can go through the theoretical part as well as the practical part. Geography is not merely a theoretical analysis, it is practical. But as we are discussing the first chapter, this is purely theoretical. After we'll proceed to the next chapters, we will do theory as well as practical simultaneously. Okay, so let's from your book you can see our next part, that is the branches of geography. Today we will start this part. Okay, different branches of geography. So I'm highlighting this part for you, branches of geography. So I have discussed already some of the important specialized branches of geography, but in a broader way, if I say, there are two important branches of geography. Okay, in a broader way, there are two important branches of geography. First is known as the systematic approach. Systematic approach. What is systematic? As the name suggests, systematic. That means it follows a particular system. It follows a logic. It follows a definite quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis means what? Logical, calculative analysis to interpret something. This is known as systematic approach. A systematic approach in geography is the same as that of general geography. It is more or less same. Okay, but in systematic geography, we will do logical analysis of various things. We will go later on what are the logical analysis. So who is known as the father of systematic approach if question comes? Okay, who is the propounder or who is the geographer who introduced this concept? The name of the person is Alexander von Humboldt. Alexander von Humboldt. Okay, so Alexander was a German naturalist and explorer. Okay, who initiated the concept of systematic approach in geography. So according to your book, you can see in systematic geography, in the branches of systematic geography, uh, you can see here, first is the physical geography. We are having the concept of physical geography. In physical geography, first point is what? Geomorphology. Geomorphology is the study of the landforms and their evolution, that how Himalayas evolved, how the Deccan Plateau of India evolved, how the Grand Canyon of America evolved. Okay, this kind of thing used to study in geomorphology. The term geo means earth, morpho means form, and logy means scientific study. Geo means earth, morpho means form, Form, and logy means to study. Hence, geomorphology means the study of the formations, okay, the landforms, different types of landforms. After that, we are having the concept of climatology. You all know, as the name suggests, climate, we used to understand the structure of the atmosphere, the elements of weather and climate, and the climatic types in different regions. Next, we having in physical geography the concept of hydrology, the study of water in the surface. It may be in ocean, it may be lake, river, anything. Okay, and how human life is affecting, or how human is interacting with the water. This thing we will study in hydrology. Next part we're having is the soil geography or the pedology. In soil geography, we will study the formation of soil, different soil types, and their distribution in the geography. We will understand this. So, in systematic geography, I have already told you that Alexander von Humboldt, a German geographer, plays a very important role in this section. Okay, so after physical geography, Alexander thought that not only physical geography plays an important role, also human geography plays a very important role. So in human geography, some important sub-units are socio-cultural geography. Socio means social, culture means a culture in a society. So in socio-cultural geography, what we will study, how society is evolving, what is the dynamicity, as well as the cultural elements that contribute a society. These things we will understand in the socio-cultural geography. Next, we having the population and settlement geography. Population means we all know that people, how population is growing, how the population is distributing. For example, if I say that Kolkata having a very high density of population, but as well as in Rajasthan, if you go in the desert, Thar desert, the population is very less. Why? What is the sex ratio? What is migration? These things we will study in population and settlement geography. What will be the housing pattern? How it is growing in a region. These things we will study in population and settlement geography. Next part is having our the economic geography. Economic geography, we will study different economic activity. How many economic activities we have? You know that. First is the primary activity. Second is the secondary activity. Primary activity means what? Agricultural activity. Secondary activity means what? Industrial activity. Tertiary activity means what? Service activity. Service sector. Okay. After that, quaternary activity. Quaternary activity means little bit higher post than a service sector. Okay, for example, if you're working in a bank as in a position of clerk, it will be a tertiary service. But when you will become a manager of that bank, the responsibility will become a little bit higher. So it will be considered as a quaternary services. And finally, we're having the queenary activity. Queenary activity, the highest position. For example, CEO of a company, Chief Executive Officer of a company. Okay, this kind of thing. So in economic activity, we will study different activities. After that, agriculture, why it is flourishing. Industry, why it is growing. Okay. After that, tourism, trade, and the developmental perspective. What we can do for the development of these things, we will study in economic geography. Next, historical geography. As I have told you already that all geographies are treated historically and all history should be treated geographically. Whenever you will study history, in every page, in every reference, you will get geography. For example, you are studying French Revolution. You have studied already French Revolution. So you easily can understood that different location. Russian Revolution, different location is there. You have studied USSR. Okay, the formation of USSR, the concept of communism, capitalism, and in geography how it is, the importance of it. So in historical geography we will take reference from history to interpret our present and to get a final result for the future predictions. Okay, we will take data from historical geography. From here you can see the systematic branches of geography, where physical geography is divided like this way. After that, principles and philosophy that we have discussed already little bit. Methods and techniques, that is cartography. Cartography means what? I have discussed in part 1 video. Cartography means map making. Okay, map making. Whatever the maps you used to see, these all maps are made by a cartographer. After that, field study, how to study field. In your class 11 12 you have a that field study is there. Okay, we will learn that how to make a questionnaire. Okay, these things are there. These all basically consist of quantitative techniques. There are two types of techniques. One is qualitative technique. Qualitative technique means what? You are referring a book and you are getting a data. That is a qualitative technique. Quantitative technique means what? You have numericals and you are analyzing the data through calculations. That is quantitative technique. These things are there in geography. Okay, lastly we having this thing we have already discussed, that what are the major branches. So just see now, the diagram is very clear in front of you, how systematically the diagram has been arranged. How systematically the diagram has been arranged, how you will study, what the branches of geographies are there. This concept is known as systematic approach. I hope it is clear to you till this much. Okay, so the same concept is written here, that why should we study systematic geography. Next part we are moving is that regional approach. Based on regional approach, region is specific. Okay, a region is specific, so you can say systematic approach first and specific approach. Instead of regional approach, you can say it as a specific approach. So as in a specific approach, the study area becomes very much narrower, very narrow. It becomes very narrow, but it gives a very good result. For example, while considering entire West Bengal, to study entire West Bengal, it is difficult for me, but I can study entire Shiliguri. Okay, because I have narrowed the region, narrowed it. Okay, I simplified it, so I can focus it more in Shiliguri as the place is very small. Okay, so regional approach, this approach was introduced by Karl Ritter, Karl Ritter, a German geographer. He introduced the concept of regional geography. Okay, so in your book you can also see this name, Karl Ritter. I hope, yes, Karl Ritter is there. Okay, this is Karl Ritter, okay, who introduced the regional approach in geography. Okay, so let's study about the regional approach. It is very easy. I hope the diagram is clear to you. Have a look in your book whenever you're free. Okay, one thing I missed, I think, yes, in systematic approach, biogeography also plays a very important role. Biogeography also plays, bio means what? Life. In biogeography, there are two types. One is the plant geography, another is the animal geography. Plant geography is to study the natural vegetation and the habitat. In each and every region has its unified natural vegetation and system. we used to study in geography these things. And in zoo geography or the animal geography, we'll study the different characteristics of animal and their habitat, how the biodiversity is going on. Okay. Next, we are having the concept of ecology and ecosystem, the scientific study of the environment, okay, and the interrelationship. And finally, the environmental geography. What are the problems in environment? How we can solve the issues in geography. This is a very new branch of geography. The environmental geography is one of the very new branch in geography. So next we will start the branches of geography based on regional approach. So as I have told you that Carl Ritter is one of the important name who introduced the concept of regional approach. What is the importance of regional approach? See, in regional approach, in this type of approach, geography was studied with region specific. Okay, for example, there are some examples are there: regional planning, area study, regional development, and regional analysis. For example, regional planning. I want to plan Shiliguri, our town. We want to plan Shiliguri. What are the criteria we will study here? How we can plan it? What will be the outcome? These things we will study in regional approach. Developmental approach. That how can I develop the peoples of this place? How can I develop the area? What can be the employment structure of this place? And finally, the regional analysis. Whatever the development and planning we will do, it is not for a shorter period of time, it is for a longer period. So by predicting the future, what will be the future, what are the changes, possible changes will be in the future, by this philosophy, by this method, we will introduce regional analysis. We will do the regional analysis. So particularly in regional analysis, philosophy, methods, and techniques are the most important elements. So in regional studies, you can see here, in regional and area studies, you have macro, meso, and micro. As the name suggests, macro means very bigger area. Suppose India, macro. Meso, that is West Bengal. Suppose I make it small, West Bengal, meso. I'm studying the region of West Bengal, that is meso. And finally, micro, particularly Darjeeling district, particularly Jalpaiguri district, that is micro. Okay. After that, we are having regional planning. We can plan urban area, we can plan a rural area, we can plan a town, we can plan a city. This is known as regional planning. After that, we are having regional development. We have understood that what is regional development. And finally, regional analysis. It's a very important part, that how we can analyze a region. There are two important aspects. First is the philosophy, that every region, every discipline has a philosophy. I have told you that. Okay, we have to understand first the interaction. For example, I make a lot of buildings in Northeast by cutting the forest. Does it really help that region? We have to understand first this thing. I'm clearing the forest, rampantly I'm clearing the forest, but is this approach helping that region? This thing we have to understand first. So philosophy, or the essence, we have to understand. Every region has its own livelihood, has its own surrounding and interconnectedness. And finally, we have the concept of methods and technique. In regional analysis, we used to follow statistical technique. We will learn different types of statistical technique, how to handle data, different types of data we will study later on. And finally, the computer and cartography. Cartography is the art of map making. We will learn how to prepare maps, plus computer, because technological advancement is going on. We need basic knowledge of programming, basic DBMS, database management system. Okay, SQL, structure query language. These things will really help us, okay, to make our work more and more technologically equipped. Okay, these things we will study in the regional approach of geography. This is the diagram. You can see whatever we have concluded till this much. This is a diagrammatic representation of regional approach, branches of geography. In your book it is there, so you can have a look anytime. So these things are there, and finally uh, what we will get, so let's recall, okay, let's recapitulate that what are the things that we have dealt till this much. Let's have a look in this PDF. Okay, branches of geography we have discussed little bit. Systematic approach, as I have told you, Alexander von Humboldt, German geographer, who initiated the concept of systematic geography. This is the diagram you can see later on. After that, the concept of regional geography, we have done about the regional geography, the branches of regional geography we have done. So this is the diagram of the regional geography, the same concept you have seen in the book you have. Okay, so finally, what is our outcome? Because in class 11 entirely we will devote our understanding in physical geography. So what is the importance of physical geography? Physical geography includes atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere, and these three things are very important for human beings. But in our present day, we used to interfere in these things. We are changing it. Does this will affect us? Yes, it will affect us. How it will affect us and how we can resist it? Okay, what is our holistic approach? That not harming these places, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, not harming these places without destroying their harmony, how we can thrive in environment, we will understand in physical geography. What are the different types of landform and what we can do in this landform? For agriculture, a different landform. For industry, a specific landform. For transport and communication, settlement, how these landforms can be used, how we can enhance tourism in a region. These things we will study in physical geography. Next, climate. We will understand the climate, the food, the clothes, and their interconnectedness. So ultimately, with understanding of this chapter, you can solve any important geographical problems. So you can manage everything through this interconnectedness knowledge. Hence, geography. In the last line, I'd like to quote one thing, that what is geography? We have started this question in the beginning, that what is geography? So according to Richard Hudson, geography is concerned with the description and explanation of the aerial differentiation of the earth's surface. Okay, we explain and we understand what are the different issues in the area. Secondly, Hetner used to say that geography study the differences of phenomena usually related in different parts of the earth. We will understand different factors. Okay, different factors, different phenomena in different part of the earth. We will understand these things. So I hope this chapter is more or less clear. You have understood the core philosophy of geography. Okay, and the applicability also. So geography is not merely a theory. Please take it in consideration. Geography is not merely a theory. Whatever we will learning here, all the things have a practical approach, because geography deals with reality, and we have a concern that, and we have a responsibility also, that what will be our future, so we can suggest some policies through our explanation and interpretation. So with this regard, I am concluding this chapter. I hope you have understood more or less all the things, but revise. Okay, revision is very important. All the notes, study material, everything you will get in your Google Classroom. Please have a look from there. And in the next class, in the next chapter, we'll start the concept of landform. And I must say, it is very interesting chapter from next class. Okay, thank you very much for your time and consideration. I hope you liked the lesson. I hope the discussion is I tried my best to make it more simple. Okay, make it very simple for you, that you can understand that what are the different types are there. I hope you have understood all the things. So in the next class, in a detailed way, in a more detailed way, we will start the next chapter, that is landform. Okay, so thank you very much, and Please take care. Okay, we will meet very soon. Thank you.